Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the One and O podcast. I'm Avery Hill.
I'm Lexi Winterman.
I'm Will Horseman.
Thursday, Penn State got the biggest news of what was probably the whole summer. Kickoff times got announced, of course, but more importantly, you had the whiteout game, Penn State, Oregon, September 27th on NBC, a night whiteout, and you also had some big news come up with the College Football 26 reveal trailer. We'll cover all of that today, but I want to start with the whiteout. What do you guys think? Did Penn State make the right pick?
Yeah, I kind of think it's just the obvious pick. I think knowing that Fox had the first three picks at Big Ten games, and obviously Ohio State, Texas, they had already announced, and there was all that drama with Ohio State wanted to move it back, but Texas said no, but that's a whole different thing. And then you have to assume that Ohio State, Penn State, and Ohio State, Michigan were probably Fox's two other ones that they wanted. I mean, of course, Oregon, Penn State was definitely in that conversation just because it's a Big Ten championship rematch, but Oregon isn't projected to be as good as last year. And so I think that NBC is picking up this game when Fox isn't taking it is just the right move. And I bet you Penn State and Pat Kraft behind the scenes were working really hard to make sure that this did happen. It did get put on NBC at night just because the past few years the whiteout has been they've prioritized it being at night and having the aesthetic than actually having a good opponent. And I think like last year, I think Washington was like a solid pick if they really didn't want to have it at noon just because they made the national championship in 2023. But then fans were leaving by halftime, like by the middle of the third quarter. Like the stands were practically like almost empty. The student section was emptied out. And the year before that, like Iowa was a complete blowout. Minnesota, like just those games were just not the biggest games on Penn State's home schedule most of the time. So I think they're finally getting back to making the whiteout the biggest game on the schedule. And I think they especially need to do that this year with a really weak home schedule. The second best game on the schedule is Indiana late in the season. That's in November anyway, so Indiana would have had to agree to that to be at night, which I shouldn't think was ever going to happen. So this is just it really worked out perfectly in Penn State's favor, and it was just honestly the no-brainer pick. You've got the Big Ten championship rematch under the lights, first Big Ten game for Penn State of the season, and a season where fans are really excited to see this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a win for Penn State. I mean, it's a win for just college football as a whole because wideout's pretty widely considered one of the best traditions in the sport, and it's just a win for the sport as a whole to have one of the best traditions back at full strength against a big time opponent and at night. So I mean, I obviously argued that it should have been Indiana, but now that Oregon is confirmed a night game, I think this was the best pick for Penn State, and this is really going to be a big game for like Drew Aller because he has obviously is yet to really beat a big time opponent. I mean, obviously I know he beat Boise State and SMU in the playoffs last season, but I mean compared to like a team like Oregon, it's not there. Those two teams were good, but it's not Oregon, and really for James, this would be a big game for James Franklin and Drew Aller to win.
Yeah, I think it'd be a huge game. I mean, the first thing I thought about when the pick was officially announced, like obviously, like back in September or back in December in the Big Ten championship, that was when they said, okay, Penn State, Oregon, September 27th. It's like that is perfect for a whiteout. You don't have to worry about, oh, they're not going to want to play in this sort of weather. Oh, they can't play after this time, things like that. And it kind of goes back to just the impact of these, I guess, what's becoming super conferences. I mean, you have teams all over the country, and just the fact that you're stacking up, 14, 15, 16 teams, whatever, however many teams you're stacking up into one conference is giving more opportunity to have these big time matchups. I mean, you're seeing it all over the country. You look at the SEC where, you might have a ranked matchup for 6 straight weeks. And obviously, once they start losing to each other, like they'll fall off the rankings. But at some point, these are ranked squads, and the same thing will go for the Big Ten. It really opens up the opportunity that you don't have to push your biggest games into the mid part of the year where it starts to get cold, or the late part of the year. So, I mean, I think personally, it's a really, or not personally, but it's a really big win looking at how the Big Ten schedule has been able to shape up. I mean, it's showing kind of another impact of the West Coast expansion for the Big Ten is really giving that opportunity to have these big games because I mean you look at last year having Oregon and Ohio State in what was that first week of October around that time, like that is perfect time to kind of go up to Oregon. I mean I think watching the game from TV, like the aesthetics looked amazing, and it'll be the same. Like we know how Oregon likes to come to play. I don't know what uniforms they're gonna wear. I definitely want to place my bets though because I mean, they have like 30 to pick from. I think I can get a good amount of money off of that one. I think it'll be very interesting to see what they come out in because that and the whiteout, like it's the same thing I said last year with UCLA. Like those colors, mixing it in with Penn State, the all white. Penn State's going to come in the blue. Like I don't know. It honestly might be. It will be incredible. It'll be interesting though to see whether they get this, whether it becomes an advantage. I mean, again, as we talk about, it's been so long since they've always had the advantage, but they haven't been able to really use it properly. Like every single game in the last like 5 years, you could say they were going to win that game anyway. Like Iowa might have been the closest one, but every game Penn State was a favorite. Every game you knew what you were expecting going into the whiteout. So it'll be just very interesting to see how Penn State adapts to this and uses this advantage against Dan Lanning and his squad.
Yeah, I think it's good for Penn State that they get Oregon so early in the year. I mean, obviously it's not ideal. You're going into your one of your toughest conference opponents like after a bye week, after you just played three cupcakes. But it's kind of almost the same thing for Oregon. And I think I saw somewhere like I think both teams will be undefeated coming this one. So there's a possibility this is the first like top five whiteout in history, which would just be absolute cinema. Like that would be like so cool to see. But also I'm intrigued to see like Patcraft says like the renovations aren't going to impact like anything within the stadium, like within the capacity of the stadium, within this like how loud the stadium is. But I think it's interesting, like the first time since I guess Auburn's 2021, there's like a real opponent, like not like a real opponent, like a real big game for like the whiteout, and like the stadium is like not like what it usually is. So I think that that's just like that's a little ironic, it's a little funny. But I definitely think this could just end up being like one of those games like goes down like in Penn State history is like to especially if they can like win like they win like the Big Ten Championship rematch. Like that would be huge. That would almost like cement them a spot in the Big Ten Championship. Like when you look at the rest of their schedule, they just have that game against Ohio State, obviously, to worry about. So like yeah, it's just a huge game, and it's perfect for Penn State that it gets to be the whiteout.
Yeah, I mean, looking at both teams' schedules, you see what I think is Montana State, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State, and it's like
Yeah.
you compare it to last year, it's like okay, because Washington, like you had to make it through that brunt of the schedule. Then it's like, oh, now you get Penn State. Now I guess the aura is really gone. Like that was really like if you wanted to schedule Washington last year, I think it made more sense to do that, earlier in the year rather than having to have them on, I think it was like November 1st or something like that.
Yeah, November 9th, I think it was.
Close enough.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah. Just ate it. Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and even with like the Auburn whiteout in 2021, I mean, Auburn really ended up as like a .500 team, so they even ended up not all that great. And obviously 2020 there's no whiteout, and then 2019 Michigan was they ended up 9-4 and losing in the Citrus Bowl. So quite frankly, this is the probably the best opponent since 2018 or Ohio State for the whiteout.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see one, how both of these teams adapt. Like you're going to look at Oregon this year with what Dante Moore and obviously some moving pieces and stuff. Penn State is going to look the same, but again, you look at the Oregon side, you do have Dan Lanning. Like he's consistently been able to recruit and bring in more guys and more guys. Um, He is, part of the reason why Nico, who I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name right now, is no longer at Tennessee. So I mean, I think it'll be honestly an incredible atmosphere to watch. It probably is college game day if we think about it. But I kind of want to transition into the rest of the schedule. Penn State obviously announced most of its beginning of the year. I think ending with Northwestern. You have Nevada at 3:30 on CBS. You have FIU, which is just on the Big Ten Network at noon. You have Villanova at 3:30 on Fox Sports. And then jump into October 11th, you have Northwestern, who isn't, they haven't solidified the time yet. It'll either be at noon or 3:30 or 4. We'll see. I would really assume it goes to noon because why is Penn State playing Northwestern anytime past noon? But are any of those times or anything interesting, y'all? Anything just interesting about the beginning of Penn State's schedule outside of the fact that, it was basically cupcakes.
Not really. I think it's interesting. Out of the three cupcakes, only one of the games got put at noon. I think, um, I think the students are really happy about that just because, no one likes tailgating at 7 a.m. So I think that's good just from a fan's perspective. But honestly, like I don't think the start time matters much in any of these. I mean, obviously none of them are going to be at night. But yeah, just interesting that only one gets put at noon. And I'm shocked Nevada's on CBS. Like that's like I mean, I guess there's like nothing else better, but like I don't know. That's kind of crazy to me.
We'll see how soon the views drop if
Yeah,
they
I don't
even
know.
get up because I mean like but I
I
mean
mean, all these game time. I mean, these game time. I mean, it's good to know, but it's like really like who cares? Chances are, it's like the majority of these games are going to be like pretty much a blowout. So it's like I don't think m many Penn State fans would really care if these games are like noon or 3:30 or not as much as like obviously the whiteout, but it still is a shame that the Virginia Tech series got canceled back in 2020 because this year would have been the return game for Virginia Tech would have visited Penn State, and that would have been a much better non-conference game, but it's obviously not happening.
Yeah, and Brent Fry's returns, Beaver Stadium. Wow.
That's
Wow.
Here we go, pulling us together. Yeah, I think it would have been because now with Big Ten scheduling as well, that's part of the problem. Like teams know that they're going to have to stack up with the biggest and the best opponents every single week. You can have a schedule of literally Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Like I haven't looked too deep to see who exactly has it, but I'm sure somebody has that sort of schedule. It's really made it to the point where it's like, why not just schedule this cupcake every single week until we have to, until we have the games that we're locked into, especially considering the college football playoffs. Obviously, we had a couple changes with the format and everything, but the problem of losing games that you could have just taken a week off essentially and played the Kent States of the world and the Buffaloes of the world, like schools like that. Obviously, Villanova will be in that picture as an FCS school. Like that takes away, or that would take away from, getting those non-conference games that, like, oh, this would be a great matchup. Oh, like that's obviously an impact of that. So yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to just see how that all shapes out in the beginning of the year. We'll obviously assume that they're all both undefeated, Penn State and Oregon, but I mean, you never know. I mean, maybe Oklahoma State pulls it off. Maybe Northwestern is better than we thought. Maybe Northwestern has their Indiana year. I mean, you never know.
Maybe the Beavers take back Oregon, it's like it's a lot of options here.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's an option.
Villanova had a 3-game win streak against Penn State in like the 1950s, so you never know.
We could have a Bowling Green part too. This is like
Yeah.
really
Oh yeah, yeah, we could. I mean, I think, or I mean, the Pope just he might work his magic. Pope works his magic. Villanova, it's a miracle. And then Temple next year, he might just, Philly ties, just kind of kind of bring it all in. But I kind of want to transition from that. On Thursday as well, we had the College Football 26 official reveal trailer. Obviously, fans got to look at what Penn State would look like in a video game last year, but this year it was a little more. This year, coaches were put in the game, so obviously James Franklin, along with I think it's 300 plus coaches, Andy Kotelnicki is in the game. Jim Knowles is in the game. They were all featured in the game. Franklin was featured in the official reveal trailer. I'm just leaving it to y'all. What did y'all think about his scan and everything? How did James Franklin look in the game? Does it look like James Franklin?
I saw someone say that it looks more like Keegan Michael Key, and like I think that's like the perfect way to put it. Like I feel like it like you can tell it's him, but it just doesn't really look like him. I think in the one clip when they're like walking down the tunnel, like he has a beard, but it's like fluorescent white. And I'm like, I've never seen that on James Franklin in my life. Like I don't know. It's probably just like the light reflection, like whatever, but I just thought like that was funny. Yeah, he just looks I don't know, he looks like I don't know, like his like aura and like real life and like the game is like not matching up. Like there's like something off about the energy. Like I think like the Keegan Michael Keegan person like like he looks like he and Michael Key in the game. Like I don't know if they like confuse the two. Like I don't really know, but like it just doesn't really look like James Franklin. He also looks like I can't tell if he looks like a little shorter or like if the players look a little shorter. Like they look like I think they looked like a little like they were like pretty like head
Level.
level. And I was like, this should not like that's not how this works. Like so yeah, I don't know. Just but like I mean I like the game messes up how people look like all the time. like Drew Aller last year when it got released, like that looked nothing like him. Like it's just like it just happened. But I just thought it was really funny. It's like Marcus Freeman looks like just like him. Like it's like almost spitting image, but Franklin not so much. So
I mean, it's probably the lighting, but I think EA Sports forgot to put the shine on Franklin's head because
Yeah, yeah. Let's
they
talk about
very
that. That's what I was looking for. Let's talk about that. Come on.
I mean, I think Franklin said something. It's like he shaves his head 6 days a week and takes Sunday off. I don't know if I don't know if that
Maybe they scanned him on Sunday.
routine into the game, but it definitely does not look. It's probably the lighting is definitely not giving him any help in this picture, but it they just did not get the shine right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think like you would think that the lighting, like he should have so many lights shining off of his head. Like they've like video games love to talk about their lighting structure and how everything looks so real. Like you'll see, like you look at the helmet, you see the light shining off the helmet. Like the fact that even in the light, like the fluorescent light right there, like the fact that it's not shining off of his head is just honestly a mistake if you ask me. I think that his beard doesn't necessarily match his face, and it's also like his whole cheekbone structure. It just doesn't look right. Like I'm not a face analyzer, but like it just doesn't look right. Like I think they had the top half good outside of the shine. Maybe they scanned him on Sunday since he said he takes Sundays off. That's his day of rest for the body. So maybe they scanned him on a Sunday, so he didn't get that full shine on. But yeah, I don't know. Like Marcus Freeman looked fine, if you would ask me. Ryan Day looked fine, if you ask me. I think it'll be interesting to see the other coaches, maybe Mike Loxley, just kind of see how how he looks in the game. Jed Fish, like honestly, I don't even like I don't even know if Prime is in the game because why haven't we seen him? Like you would think he would be like the focal point of adding coaches to the game. But and then just seeing, Penn State's coaches like Andy Kotelnicki, Jim Knowles. I wonder if they're both going to be on the sideline, things like that, because they're in the game. I don't know if they're scanned into the game, but I mean, those are all be interesting to see. You also had James Franklin and Nick Singleton officially revealed as members of the deluxe edition. Um, that makes it at least seem like there will be some sort of favorable rating for Nick Singleton in the game. I mean, you saw Donovan Edwards get like a 97 last year. So yeah, so I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, it could also be a curse. We don't know. We haven't. It hasn't been enough years to call it a college football curse or anything like that. So
yeah, I think it was interesting. I didn't realize like they were gonna put coordinators in the game too. Like seeing the Anikona and Jim Knowles thing. That was interesting because like both of them like call plays from the booth. So like I don't know where they're gonna put them. Like is this like are they gonna I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm interested to see like how they scan as well. Um but yeah, it's also interesting to see like Nick Singleton on the deluxe cover and he was like pretty like toward the front. Like the way they had it like lined up, like he was like kind of like right next to Jeremiah Smith-ish. Like you can tell that he's like supposed to be like a little further back, but it like doesn't really look like that. But so yeah, they had him like up near the front. But I was also interested to see like on the normal cover, like they have all the logos in the back, and like Penn State is like in like a sliver, like off to the side. Like it's not even like one of the like logos that you can actually like see, if that makes any sense. So I thought that was interesting as well. But like yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to kind of look forward to it. I mean, if you look at the deluxe edition, there's a couple hints. Like you have Reggie Bush on there, which is very encouraging. Um, Obviously Reggie Bush has been through a lot and he's finally getting his justice, so it looks good. I mean, you have the mascots. I don't think there's mascot mode in the game, but I mean, seeing the Nittany Lion and maybe how about this, EA? Give me the Nittany Lion, give me James Franklin. Let them run Oklahoma. Who who says no? I'm
I
just
don't know.
that like who says no? I think it'll actually be a pretty good matchup. But yeah, I mean we'll kind of see how the game shapes out. I think it's set to release around July 10th if I'm correct. So we'll see how they all look on the game. Obviously James Franklin scanned into the game. I wonder if Nick is scanned into the game because I think last season they didn't really scan much of any players. Like Donovan Edwards did, as we mentioned. Um, I think like some of the top players, but it wasn't everyone. So it'll be interesting because I do want to see if Jurala looks like Jurala come next year. But
I mean, it would have been cool to see if like Katron Allen would have been included next to Singleton, because like I get like Singleton's like the better NFL prospect and it's probably more popular among fans, but it's like Allen he was also, Allen was the better running back in against Oregon and against SMU, and there obviously what 1A and 1B, so it would have been like a cool like to have them just like right next to each other on the cover.
yeah, I think I don't. It's probably honestly a space thing because I
Yeah.
don't see any duos, or that I know of at least. But I mean, what do I see? Is that no? That's not Ars. That's Dillingham. I thought I saw Ars Manning. I don't see him. I don't know. Maybe that's a complete miss by EA, by the way. So yeah, again, game releases July 10th. So we'll all see how that all shapes out. Yeah. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Visit us at psucollegian.com and follow us on socials. We'll see you next time.